Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Fanatics video on the channel. Round 20 is in the books and it is done and we have a month to go of the season, but not a bad week. Our high score of the season of any round, so 2,448. So it was the highest scoring fantasy week, I think just in general across a lot of teams. A lot of teams went well. I said quite a number of 2,500s and there might have even been a few 2,600s out there as well, based on some of the scores. But that saw us have a round rank of 4,699. So not too bad there as well. And moved up another 339 spots. So we're up to 3,422. So considering that again, I keep referencing this because the fact that I was about 13,500 post round 10 and the fact that we're now at 3,422, I'm fairly happy with how the last 10 weeks have gone to get to that point. And now we're obviously just trying to see how high we can finish, right, over the last month of the season. So I'd love to make up another 1,500 spots and move inside the top 2K. If I can have a top 2K finish in what was a fairly tough first half of the year, I'd be, fairly happy with how it's gone in the back half of the year, and a lot to work on in how to start the year better next year. But in terms of plus and minus 3 for the week, I gave the plus 3 on the pod last night to the Bont with the 146, and DC gave it to the other man that I will give my plus 3 on the video to, and that is Nasai Wanganeen-Mellera, 147. Like that last quarter that he played to help St Kilda win what the biggest comeback ever in AFL VFL history, of 46 points down at 3/4 time. And the last quarter he had, so obviously he scored a 147, and that's the third time in the last 3 weeks, last 4 weeks. Three times in the last 4 weeks, he's gone over 145 points. That is just outrageous how well he's playing. But I just want to get his last quarter stats up, because his last quarter was obviously one for the ages, right? He single-handedly obviously won in the game the last 30 seconds with 2 goals, right? But obviously Saints played really well in that last quarter. A few other guys like Max Hall and Mason Wood that played really well. But his last quarter, he kicked 2 goals, had 10 disposals and 3 marks. And I remember there was one play that he had 3 touches in the chain. And he gained he went from the kick-in up to kicking inside 50. It was he's just a generational talent. He's just an absolute superstar. And whether he stays at the Saints or whether he goes to Port of the Crows, whichever club has him, going to be very, very happy that they've got him for the next 10 years or however long they got him, because he is just an amazing talent. 4 goals on the day with 34 touches. Credit to him. Just an amazing player. And I know DC asked this last night on the pod, that it'd be interesting, do we start him next year? Because of how good he's going. Priced at 113 as a defender. Will be interesting. There'll be a lot of people start him, but that'll be a question for the preseason for next year. Minus 3. There were probably a few so there were a lot of unlucky guys not to get the plus 3, and we'll go through them in a sec. But there were a few guys that didn't, that are going to be unlucky not to get the are going to be lucky not to get the minus 3. That being Andrew Brayshaw, 82 against West Coast, not good enough. Tom Green, 72, that's just not good enough either. And Chad Warner with a 70. I know it's a tough matchup, but 70, you just don't love that. But Caleb Daniels going to get my negative 3. He's just been he was a good pick start the year. Not going to say anything about that, because he started the year well. He made cash quickly and was cheap. But I think he just had to go at his buy. I traded him in round. I've kept him all this time. I should have traded him in round 12, and he's just been middling since, right? He had a good few games before that, so he went 90, 98, and then a 76 against Sydney last one. I thought, okay, tough matchup, that's fine. But then a 60 against Geelong with 6 kick-ins. The fact that he had only 42 points outside of kick-ins is not good. He's got the Saints this week, which could be a saving grace in the fact that he might actually go okay against the Saints. But I feel like it's almost time for him to go, to be honest. He's someone I'm going to definitely contemplate trading this week, so I don't have Matt Kennedy, who's a good option. Just depends whether I do that trade this week, or do I wait a week and get Kennedy for a better matchup and maybe just keep Daniel for one more week. So that'll be something I'll look at during the week, but he is someone that's definitely going to be on the chopping block for me now with a poor score there. But yeah, so let's get into the rest of the players as we always do. So we'll start off, obviously, we've chatted about Nasai already, so 147, he's just an absolute gun. He's now the second highest averaging player, which I think he was last week already, but he's obviously now clear number 2 now. He's sort of knocking on the door of Bailey Smith's average. But Baz obviously returned to some form on the weekend. He's obviously a gun. But Max Holmes, just getting it done once again. 118 points. That's now back-to-back really good scores after the 80 he scored against GWS, and has got a pretty good run to end the year. Port, Essendon, and Sydney. Richmond probably cops attention against Sydney in round 23. Either him or Baz will probably cop it. Maybe they do use Campbell and Jordan on both of them. Or maybe because Sydney's year's done, maybe they don't worry about it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But the other games I'm liking there, and Max Holmes is just killing it at the moment. So, yep, very, very happy with him. Connor Rose, 95. I'm pretty happy with the score considering it was in really bad conditions. It was a bad loss for Port, and the fact that his hand was swollen after the game. So, 95, it'll be a watch. I'm a bit worried that there's a chance he doesn't play this week with the hand injury, but 95 is still a pretty solid score. I'll definitely take it for sure. It'd just be a watch as to if he's there next week or coming weeks. But he's been obviously great this year, and I'm hoping that he is there because I don't really want to trade a defender who's averaging essentially 105. So, yep, hopefully he's okay. We'll just have to see how the hand injury goes and if the swelling goes down. Harry Sheasel, 111. Very good score from him, even though, again, he didn't have a huge amount of CBAs. Still haven't had a chance to watch a huge amount in this game because obviously I was at the show tent, which was very, very wet. But he went, again, pretty well, right? He had a 30-point last quarter, but seemed to be pretty solid across all the quarters as well, which is good. He just didn't have, I guess, one massive quarter, and then it was just average. He was pretty good across all three. So, Sheasel getting the job done once again. He'll stay there, obviously, for the remainder of the season for me, along with maybe Chloe McKercher. So, again, 104. The only poor score he's had was against Sydney when he got the tag. He had the most kick-ins, had 9 kick-ins on the weekend to Caleb Daniels 7. So, again, it's still those two that take all the kick-ins. For me, he's probably not high priority at the moment. If he's my D6 to end the year, and I'm not post even getting rid of McCarthy at some point and having McKercher as like my M9 D7 guy that I use as a loop, because he'll probably have a lot of Sunday games. Well, he does have a lot of Sunday games, so I might be able to loop a couple of guys in each line, either take the best score or play Colby. Either take both scores and or play Colby for one of them, which might be handy to have for the last few weeks. So something I'm definitely considering there, but I don't think I'll be trading Colby, to be honest. Obviously brought in Ricky Menther as my red dot defender forward loop. Probably not going to be hugely relevant for me next week because he plays on the first game Saturday, but the other games he will be a handy loop for me unless he comes in to the team. Callum Mills with 94 was good. Obviously took that score and locked that away. I was looming between him and McCarthy and was very happy to take the 94 from him. Got the Bombers this week, so he'll stay for another week with a good matchup. But then I believe he goes Brisbane the week after, so that might be something I do look at upgrading the following week. Maybe I'll look at him up. Moving to the midfield, a few good performances. So Nick Dacos and Marcus Bonampelli both with 146. It was pretty obvious, I think, that Dacos was going to dine out on the Richmond matchup, and he did. He's now the number one averaging midfielder for the season, averaging 110.4, passing Dawson, who is averaging 108.9, but has only had the one big game since the mid-season bye, being the 129 against the Dogs, but I think he'll have some good games to end the year, Jordan Dawson. But, Dacos is great, and Bont's also been very good. He's also coming along really well, and he's nearly going to overtake Jordan Dawson in terms of average. He's now averaging 108.1 for the year. 3 of his last 4 have been over 130. So, again, putting up some massive scores, and another 60-point last quarter. He's very, very expensive now. So if you've got him in your team, be very, very happy having him. Andrew Brayshaw, disappointing with the 82 against the Eagles. He surprisingly doesn't have a very good record against the Eagles. He's averaging, I think, sub 90 in his career against them, and another average score. I thought he might have corrected a bit last couple of games against West Coast. He went quite well, but now another average score. Had plenty of the ball, just didn't do much in terms of marks or tackles. Had a lot of handballs. He'll be fine. He's got Carlton this week. I think he'll put up a good score, but obviously, it's just been a little bit up and down for Brayshaw. He's, funny enough, only turned up once in his last 5, which is quite interesting. 99, 85, 138, 90, and 82. It's only one big score. We're not trading him out by any means, but if you don't have him, maybe looking at maybe another option. Maybe there's someone else you like more. As I mentioned, Jordan Dawson, been a little bit down since the mid-season bye. Hasn't hit the heights that he was having at the start of the year. Like, he was averaging 114 post round 11. But since then, he's actually, funny enough, so since he had that 139 against West Coast in round 11, he's only had one score over 110, which was in round 18 against the Bulldogs. So, Really, he hasn't been doing it for a good sort of, what's that? 8 weeks. 8 weeks in fantasy, 8 rounds. So, yeah, bit disappointing that from Dawson, but he's had a lot of games where he's rested like late in the game or rested for because they've been up by so much. So, I guess the Crows winning by a lot has probably been to the detriment of Dawson's fantasy numbers. But obviously, the priority for Dawson the Crows is finals that will be upcoming at this stage if they don't lose every game from here. Josh Dunkley, 112. Very, very happy I brought him in this week. So obviously, I adjusted to bringing him in over Jack Steele. I was tossing them up all week. I was like, Dunkley or Steele. Friday, I still had Steele on my team. But then I heard about the shoulder concern. So for anyone that obviously missed that, just follow GOAT Fantasy. So just make sure you follow Drew Jones, GOAT Fantasy, and AFL Ratings. They're the two I go for all my news and stuff. I have like notification stuff turned on for them and get notified anytime I see any bit of news. So anyone that missed it, make sure you follow GOAT Fantasy and AFL Ratings, and you won't miss any news because I knew Drew Jones posted on the Friday afternoon and then also on the Saturday, and also talked about it on the podcast feed. The Saturday morning coffee run as well. So make sure you guys do check out Drew Jones if you haven't already. But Dunkley 112, considering they got beaten pretty badly as well, tackled his way again to a good score, which is good, right? He only had 22 touches and only 2 marks. Obviously, he was a bit wet. But the fact he still put up a 112 was really good. So he's had 13, 15, and 14 tackles in his last 3 weeks. And funny enough, the 4 games in the last 5 where he's gone over 110 has been where he's had at least 10 tackles. So it's pretty much as long as Dunkley gets 10 tackles, he'll ton up, which is good. And I think he's got a tough run to finish. Collingwood, Sydney, Freo, Hawthorn isn't great. But I look at those games going, they're all big games for them, particularly Collingwood, Freo, Hawthorn, because they're all teams in the top 8 vying out for those spots. I think Dunkley's actually going to have a pretty good end to the year. So if you don't have Dunkley, I like him still as an upgrade take, regardless of the tougher run coming up. Josh Dacos, 103. I'll take it. Obviously, a good matchup for him against Richmond. I'm a little bit nervous about what he'll do the next few weeks because he's got Brisbane, Hawthorn, Adelaide next 3 weeks, which is 3 tough matchups. Melbourne last round's fine, but I sort of wonder what he'll do in those tougher matchups coming up. So he went 95 against Brisbane earlier in the year, 100 against Hawthorn, and then 82 against the Crows in the wet. So I think he'll still be fine. I wouldn't be trading him in, though, if I didn't have him. Because I was looking to potentially trade him out this week as like maybe go like Dacos down to get cash to go to Whitfield and then go like a Mills up. But Mills going well and Dacos obviously tunning up again. I'll hold that for another week and look to trade out maybe other guys. Maybe Tom Green could be that guy because another 72, he's just been very, very frustrating. He's now averaging under 100 for the season. And again, since he had that 133 in round 9 against Geelong, that was the first week I almost brought him in. I didn't end up doing it. But then he went 78, 85, 112, 109, 78, 119. I thought after that 119, the only poor score he had was the Brisbane game. And I thought, okay, well, maybe he's going to go well. But since the mid-season bye, 104, 79, 110, 72. It's literally 100 or a 70. It's not good enough. And I know, it's not because Geelong, he went obviously massive the game before. And then against Sydney, he normally plays well against Sydney, to be honest. But that was only 16 disposals was poor. The fact, though, that he's got a good run to end the year is the reason I'm probably going to hold. He's got the Dogs this week, which is obviously tougher, but I think that'll be a game that he'll be up for it. It'll be a tough game for both Giants and the Bulldogs, highly contested game. But then he goes North, Gold Coast, St Kilda. Like, I'm going to keep him for those games because I think he can go well. But if he didn't have a good run, I would be looking at trading him out because I just don't think he's going to be a consistent 100-plus averaging mid for the maybe moving forward. Like, obviously, maybe for the last 4 weeks he is. But I don't know what I'll look at doing in the future in terms of will I pick Tom Green or be scared off. But just because he doesn't mark the ball much, he doesn't tackle a lot either. Like the only time he really got those marks was against West Coast in that last quarter when he scored 50 points and saved his score to a 104 where he took 7 marks. But besides that, so his marks, take out that game where he had 7. So since round 13 where he had 5, he's gone 2, 4, 7, 1, 4, 1. And that 7 was obviously the West Coast game. So not marking it. 6 marks in the last 3 weeks is just, not going to get it done, unfortunately. Zach Merritt, 115. Yeah, really, really happy with that score. Assuming it was against the Dogs and tough matchup, but he's someone I'm probably going to trade this week. Not out of the fault of his own. It's just the fact that he's now goes Sydney, Geelong, St Kilda, Carlton. That could be Jordan into a Mullen or O'Connor into a Windhager into a Maybe Carlton don't tag, but then maybe they go Hewitt or Chincotta or something like that. But I'm a bit nervous, particularly this week. And because he's at a good price, I can sideways him to maybe even a Whitfield, make a bit of money, and then I can play around with that other trade. So it is something I'm definitely contemplating this week in terms of a trade out. But a very good score. And even if I trade him out, I'm really, really happy with the 115 he put up. So it'd be the shake of the hand. Thank you, Merritt, for your 3 weeks of going 99 plus and putting up some solid scores. But maybe it's time to go just because Essendon as well have got so many injuries. McCarthy 82 as well. Obviously couldn't take the score because I could only take one of him on Mills, so I was just taking the best score. But 82 was good. Made a little bit more money. He's still got a lower break-even, so his break-even's still 49. Might make a little bit of money. He's got the Ds this week, so might put up a score. So I'm probably going to hold him for another week. He'll be a handy sort of loop potentially there. But I don't think I'll actually be able to use him, to be fair, because my red dots are Mensah, who plays first game Saturday. Then I've got Bustlinger, who plays the first game, and then Rouston, who also plays the first game. So I won't be able to loop McCarthy, actually, funny enough, this week. So I'd have to be looping someone on the Thursday night or something like that. So maybe Tom Green. Maybe I'll just go loop him and see what he does. But that would be about all I can do, really. But actually, then again, I can't because Rouston's only red dot, so I can't even do that. I'd have to loop McCarthy in defence. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Grundy 130, obviously very happy I brought him in, not this week, last week, and another good score there. And again, his matchups continue to go well. He's got the Bombers this week, and I think he'll have another very good game. So, Grundy to end the year, I think will be very, very good. They're another great score. Ryan Marshall, 88 is not too bad against Max Gawn, who is the toughest matchup. One of the toughest matchups, at least anyway. He scored 92 against Gawn earlier this year and then at 88. So he's been beaten both times he's played Gawn, but at least he's held his own. Gave away 3 free kicks, which is pretty much customary for Ryan Marshall there. But the fact that he now goes North Melbourne with no Cherry, then Richmond, then Essendon, and then Giants, I think he could be one of those rucks you really look at targeting. He's a lot cheaper than the other guy. He's the same price as Max. So that'll be an interesting call this week. Do you go Max or do you go Marshall? But these matchups for Marshall moving forward for the remainder of the season look really, really good. So I'll be holding him for the rest of the year, and I'm hoping that he stays solo ruck, particularly with the Saints winning on the weekend. So I'm hoping he stays solo and puts up some monster scores to end the year. Then we've got Baz 132. Good to see Baz get back into some good form after 3 weeks of sub-tons and only having 1 ton, since round 14. Was good to see. So 132, really, really good. Luke Jackson, 97, was good in a low-scoring fantasy game, the third highest score on the ground, and very happy with the 97 as a forward. Petrarca, 84, was better than the 70 last week, but again, it's just middling. He hasn't gone over 110 since round 8, and he's only had 2 scores this year over 110. He's just hasn't been that ceiling play we've seen in previous years. So, but as a forward, I guess it's fine enough. Chad Warner, 70, disappointing, but he's got the Bombers this week. I think he'll respond with a much better score this week. Then he goes Brisbane, Geelong, couple of tricky matches, then finishes West Coast. But I think he's fine to end the year as a forward. Luke Parker, I'm very happy with him after a really poor performance the week before with a 48, but 106. Really good score from him. Good to see him get plenty of the ball there as well. So very happy with him there. Hopefully he can put up some scores similar to that to finish out the year. And then Caleb Daniel, obviously mentioned before, probably going to trade him out over the next couple of weeks, if not this week. And then Asher Moore, Auger. Moore was quiet after quarter time on Thursday night, and then Auger was obviously the sub there today as a late in for Tim Taranto. So not making any money whatsoever, but it's fine because it doesn't matter too much. And then Angus Hasty, again, still in the team, still not allowing me a red dot loop, and he went up another 18k. So 361k might be okay, but now I've probably just got to focus on getting some of this coin on the ground because it's round 21 now. Still got to downgrade Rouston, probably Hasty or Moyer as well, and then maybe looking at maybe McCarthy up to 23rd primo. Probably once I get Caleb Daniel up and maybe 1 or 2 others up. So that would be something I'll look at to end the year. But yeah, that's the team and how they went in round 20. So good week. It was enjoyable to see a lot of players that put up some good scores, but still a couple of underperformers there. In terms of my trades this week, 109k in the bank will be handy. I think Merritt to Whitfield is one trade I'm really looking at doing. So to come down to, I guess, if Rosie plays. If Rosie wasn't to play, I'd probably look at Jack Sinclair. I'd probably look at getting Sinclair and Whitfield. Maybe I might be able to go Whitfield and maybe a mid, maybe like a Matt Rao. I don't know if I'd actually have enough money for Matt Rao, to be fair. But maybe Errol, if he's he's fine. He's at a decent price. He's got the Bombers this week. Maybe it's him. Maybe Anderson against Richmond. Like, there are some options that I'm looking at to bring in, but I do really like Sinclair and Whitfield as options. If I do decide to trade Caleb Daniel, though, it'll be Caleb Daniel to Matt Kennedy, which is probably the play. As much as I like Sinclair, the play is probably going Daniel to Kennedy and going Merritt to Whitfield. That's probably what I'll look at doing this week. So, yep, that is what we'll look at doing this week. So, but I'll let people know what my trades are later in the week, as we always do. But let me know in the comments below, guys, how you guys went in round 20. Let me know your score, your round rank, your overall rank, and then your plus and minus threes for the week. And any questions, I'll try and get to a couple if I can. But as always, if you do want a guaranteed answer to your AFL fantasy question, or you'd like a team review, head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. Only 4 weeks left to go. So if you want to start for the final month of the season, shout us a coffee, pint, whatever you want to do. If you just want to maybe just join on the Patreon for last month and just want to see what it's all about, then yeah. Link is in the description below if you'd like to jump on. But all subscriptions get paused at the end of the season as well. So you literally only get charged $10, and then you don't get charged anything after that until we resume stuff later in sort of next year in the preseason in like February or something like that. But if you want more details, you can head to the Patreon there and join up. So, but yeah, everyone, as always, thanks for tuning in. As always, we'll be back potentially tonight, maybe next couple of days, where we'll have our first AFLW fantasy pod. So me and Tom Hales will be jumping on, because obviously Tom's jumping on for the season with me to chat AFLW fantasy. So maybe we'll do a bit of that. There might even be a team reveal potentially at some point later in the week for AFLW fantasy. So we'll start doing a few of those pods now. There's just over 3 weeks or 2 weeks to go or something. So not long left before the season starts. So we'll get that content cranking up and getting prepared for that one. So, but yes, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure you do smash a big thumbs up on the video. So if you haven't already, go and click that little thumbs up button that's on the stream or the video or wherever you're watching from. Click this, that, and click subscribe as well. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 5K. We're still about, I think, under 900 subscribers away. So if you want to help us reach that goal, that would be very, very much appreciated. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more trade talk. Sorry, not trade talk, Q&A. Geez, I'm messing up everything to end the video. So we're going to end it there. But yes, tomorrow night, Q&A, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Perth time, answering all your fantasy questions ahead of round 21. And trade talk is on Wednesday, not tomorrow. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks everyone. See ya.